Hello everybody, my name is Ray and I'm one of the owners here at Reynauld Imports, and today's video is going to be the fourth episode of the massive Märklin layout that we're building. A lot has been going on since our last video, and I'm going to show you what we've been up to. So since the last time we made a video on our layout, we've been working on the second level, and the second level is our narrow gauge line. And the narrow gauge station is actually going to be down here. This is going to be the lower station, and as you can see, we already got some foam down and some cork, and there's going to be a turntable at both ends of the station. There's going to be a little narrow gauge turntable on the mountain station, and there's going to be a little turntable down here. And what's going to happen is the train is going to uncouple itself from the trains. It's going to go onto the turntable. The turntable is going to turn the narrow gauge locomotive. Then it's going to re-engage, and this way we'll be able to simulate forward and reverse from the base station to the mountain station. So it's very, very cool. And that entire process will be completely automated through our Reynauld Gold software, completely digital, and the entire narrow gauge line will also be completely automated and digital. Everything will be controlled from the software, and it's going to be just amazing. But here we start our ascent, and we have about a 2.5% grade going up to the mountain station. We already built the substructure for the mountains, and you can see here the narrow gauge line will start going up and around. It's pretty tall. It's about 7 feet from the floor. Pretty neat. And you could see here, we'll come up here, go around that big curve, and they go all the way to the top to the mountain station. And you know, what's really cool about all this is the way the guys are building it. Everything's built in 4-foot section, so the entire narrow gauge section, the mountain station, all this is removable. So we could take all this down, so when we transport it, you know, nothing will be damaged. It'll be easy to transport. But the whole layout could definitely be taken apart in 4-foot sections, even the substructure for the mountain station and all that. So that's really, really cool. So that's the main thing we've been working on. We did a lot of programming, a lot of wiring. This turntable, which we mentioned in our last video, is completely automated. It'll be completely controlled by the software program, where the software program are going to control all the trains going in and out of all the stalls. It's a lot of programming went into this turntable. I believe there are, underneath the wiring, which we could take a look at, I think there's over 140 connections just on the turntable. Let me see if I could film that. Here we have some of the wiring and everything that is involved in automating this turntable. We made all the connections. We just haven't neatly tucked the wires yet. That'll be done probably when we deliver the layout, so we could, you know, there's no reason to make all these wires tight right now when we still have to transport this layout. But we still got a lot of work, but this will give you kind of an idea of how much is involved into creating an automated turntable and a software-driven layout. There's a lot of components underneath. I mean, it is, it's pretty amazing that that my guys know how to do all this. This is beyond my my level of expertise. This is some crazy wiring over here for sure. But it'll give you an idea what it takes. Or you have an idea of what's going to happen here. So again, as we mentioned in our other videos, the shadow station is below the mountain, and that could be seen underneath here. And the shadow station is completely automated. We'll have occupancy detection. The software program will know where all the trains are and what sidings are open and what sidings are closed. It'll be completely automated. The system will pull trains in and out of the shadow stations. And then above the shadow station again is the narrow gauge line. Here you can see it coming around the bend and then all the way to the top of the mountain station. So I'm 6'1", so this mountain station is just about 7 feet, or just a little below 7 feet from the floor. So it's pretty high. I can't wait to actually get the station and the mountains built and all that. It'll be really, really great. Again, we have the shadow station, which is going to be fully automated. It'll have occupancy detection. The software program will know what trains are vacant, which ones are occupied, and it'll switch the turnouts as needed. And the shadow station will feed the entire layout with trains. So as trains come in, other trains will come out. So you'll have a constant rotation of trains going in and out. Pretty sophisticated. Here's another little view from the other side. As a narrow gauge train comes around this bend, you know, it'll finally get to the mountain station on top of the layout from this ramp right here. It's a big layout. It's a really it's a hell of a big project, that's for sure. We still have to weather this bridge and paint it a little bit. Most of the track, like I said, is completely weathered. We really learned a lot by building a few layouts already. And it kind of separates Reynauld from a lot of our competitors because, you know, it's very easy to sell a product, but to actually know how to use some of these complicated products, that's a completely different ballgame. You know, we've learned by mistakes that we have made in wiring and programming, what to do and what not to do. And, you know, by building layouts, you learn about all the electronic components, about all the digital systems, the digital DCC components. You know, we've learned a lot about scenery techniques and painting and ballasting and static grass. For instance, one thing that we learned that's kind of separating us from the rest of the builders on the market is the fact that we will, for instance, use only ballast that we're actually importing from Germany. That's right. The ballast from Germany is real stone ballast that's actually crushed. The ballast is actually the same ballast that the Deutsche Bahn is using, and we crush it in Germany and we ship it back to the States. And what's really nice about stone ballast, it gives you a nice weight on your track. You know, most of the ballast on the market is pretty junky. It's terrible. It's made out of plastic or other materials. It isn't real stone. And what we absolutely hate about most ballast is the simple fact that the ballast is round. And as you know, a piece of ballast isn't round. It's got serrated edges and it's stone, so it's, you know, not round. And if you look at a lot of the ballast, it just looks so fake, you know. Another thing that one of our guys invented is he invented a special glue, a special ballast glue that we sell. And the reason for that is, you know, a lot of people build layouts and they spend a lot of money and time, you know, trying to make their train silent. You know, they'll put cork under the track or homosil or foam, and they want their trains to run really quiet. But the problem is when you use regular ballast and you use a white glue water combination, what you do is you create a sound bridge. That white glue hardens, and now your trains aren't as silent as you want them, because, you know, it creates a sound bridge. So our guys invented a special ballast glue that never fully hardens. So it's kind of like a rubber material. It keeps the ballast in place, but it never creates that sound bridge, which is really cool. Another thing that we did and that we learned about was using static grass. There's quite a few tricks, and the one thing that we didn't like is most of the glues on the market, they leave a shiny filament on the top. And you know, when the sun comes in your layout room or your fluorescent lighting, you'll have this shiny texture, this filament on top of the glue that actually shines through the grass, and it looks terrible. So one of our guys invented another glue that doesn't leave that shiny surface. So you know, we're learning a lot, and we're becoming experts in a lot of different aspects of model railroad building. If you're ever in the Chicagoland area, come by and you know, say hello to us, and we'll take you to the layout room. We are very anxious to build more layouts. We're going to get our building built soon, so hopefully we can work on 2 or 3 layouts at a time, which will be great. And we hope that you like this episode of our massive Märklin layout. The next issue will be in a month or two. We're going to cover a lot of the programming, and we're going to hopefully run some trains, get this room really cleaned up, and hopefully have some scenery on the layout. I'm sure that a lot of the mountains will be built, so that'll be interesting to see. So stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We thank you very much for watching, and have a great weekend.